Finish training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
They got Willa. They got my daughter. I need to find her.
From acclaimed director Paul Thomas Anderson.
You can save that girl.
Today, experience what is being called the best movie of the year.
This is the end of the line. Not for you.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity.
Let's go!
One battle after another, now playing only in theaters. Experience it in IMAX. Rated R. Under 17 not admitted without parent.
You can't hide.
Tonight, turn down the noise of the day and focus on the rest with AGZ, the nightly drink for winding down and resting up. New from AG1. AGZ supports your body's natural sleep cycle with clinically studied key herbs, adaptogens, and minerals in amounts supported by research. And no melatonin, helping you wake feeling rested. Wind down, rest up with AGZ. Learn more at drinkagz.com.
If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop letting shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop letting shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Into the trends. See a lead, be the best.
Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June. I got my co-host, B. Foster, with me. And before we get into this Who Will Be King series, I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves. But before that, I want to remind everyone, make sure they subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube. We are nearing 300 subscribers. Also, you can follow us anywhere you can listen to a podcast, any kind of platform you can listen. Just check us out, Bleachers and Speakers, FFSN in your search. Make sure you hit that notification bell so when we drop content, you'll get an alert and download those episodes. I'm going to, just in case you've been under a rock and haven't been paying attention, this is the Who Will Be King series with my NFC comrades. I'm going to go right around the room and I'll let Dave introduce himself and tell him a little bit about your platform, where they can find you, and when's your next show.
Hey, everybody, I'm Dave. I'm the executive producer of Vikings First and Skol. You can find us over on YouTube at Vikings First and Skol. You can find us in any of your podcast aggregators under Vikings First and Skol. You can find us on Facebook under Vikings First and Skol. And you can find us over at Fans First Sports Network under Vikings First and Skol. And we talk everything Minnesota Vikings, even when it hurts.
All right, my boy Pay, where you go to his YouTube, you can get every last drop. Pay, introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everybody, man? Checking in from Chicago, repping those Bears, Cubs, and everything in between. Not the White Sox. But yeah, we cover everything, as Dave said. We are located on Facebook, anywhere you get your podcast aggregators. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and all the rest. Check us out right there at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Welcome back, June.
And last but not least, my co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
B. Foster, one half of Bleachers to Speakers. We cover everything Detroit sports related. You can find us on Instagram, X, and on YouTube at Bleachers to Speakers.
You can also find him at Corner to Copa on YouTube. Subscribe to that new channel.
That's right.
All right, fellas, we just completed week 4. I want to go around the room and let everybody tell us how your week went. And we'll start off with Dave. his team had to play overseas, man. I hate that for you. I hate that your team has to play overseas, man. It's got to be a grueling travel. It's got to be. I think there was a player that was. I don't know if it was on your team, but it was a player. Was that Pittsburgh? There was a player that was jumped or something over there.
It was Pittsburgh. Yep.
Yeah, so go ahead and tell them about your week this week.
They got the wrong quarterback.
Yes, they did. But no, it was okay. We generally do well overseas. This was our first ever loss in our team history. Makes us 11-1, and the first ever loss in the regular season makes us 4-1, I believe. But we generally do well. The logistics are all worked out. It's all nice and pretty, and they send everybody over on the wee hours of Thursday, and they get their sleep and their time adjustments and all that other nice, happy stuff. But it was the game that absolutely was miserable. The Pittsburgh Steelers with the aged old man in his walker. He set the third fastest record time to throw in NFL history at 2.19 seconds, I believe it was. Just ungodly. He'd get the ball, thump, it was out. Bang. He burned us on a deep pass to DK Metcalf. That was the only one. But it was all in how he approached Brian Flores and the mug looks, where he brings up 7, 8, 9 guys on the line and begs you to guess which ones are dropping back, which ones are rushing, all that other stuff that we're so good at. It leaves the defense acting one-on-one. They got beat by DK, and then Flores seemed to dial it back, and then forget it. The injuries started happening. The Wentz being Wentz. Carson was not on the top of his game. Held the ball too long, took too many sacks. It was bad. Up until I go live at generally the 2-minute warning, but it was a minute before the 2-minute warning. There's 3 minutes left. We wake up.
They made a game out of it the last few minutes.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And they had an opportunity to tie it up, go into overtime. But no, Wentz remained Wentz. And Pittsburgh goes home with the win, and the Vikings dropped to 2-2, tied with the Chicago Bears.
Let me ask you something, Dave, because that long pass to Addison, if he scores there and save you some time, do you think it's a better chance? Because I know getting the ball with a minute left, and I think you get more. I think it's a more relaxed type of feeling if he goes ahead and scored then, instead of wasting about a minute. You have an extra minute on the clock.
Yep. No, I think. Well, I don't know if it would change it, but it would have been better. Now, why did Addison not make the end zone? Why did he get tackled at the 1? Did you notice why?
I saw I just saw him get hawked down. I didn't know if he was gimpy or anything else.
Nope. Wentz threw the ball short. Addison had to stop and wait for it. He was not at full speed when he caught that ball. He had to get up to full speed, and that linebacker that caught him is one of the fastest ever linebackers for a 40 and tested in NFL history, and it just caught him.
Yeah,
it was that simple. Now, Carson Wentz was usually throwing behind and short all day, and it was extremely frustrating, and that was part of it. But yeah, we could have used the extra minute for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think it changes a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say the outcome, but it changes the situation with more time on the clock. I would definitely say that.
Mm-hmm.
See, what happened was I missed the pass. I just saw him running, and I'm like, "Oh, he's going to score." That was quick. and I seen him get caught, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. You know, that's time on the clock. That's precious time.
It is.
So,
and you know how Addison loved being at full speed. So you know that was
Pay.
Oh yeah, well,
one of his best.
Pay.
It's true. And there's a bunch of what do we call them? Where they take the bets on the players. They wanted them to score 55-yard touchdown and have over 140 yards rushing or receiving to match his speeding ticket down I-95.
Boy, you make a mistake in this league like that, you'll never live it down. Pay, your guys went to Vegas and they wasn't gambling. They were playing. What happened when the Bears faced the Las Vegas Raiders? You called this game, man. You said it was the Raiders was next. And what happened?
Oh no, we was definitely gambling. We was on the table, and you know the rules in the casino. You never leave the table when you're on the heater, right? And the Bears, following up the big game they had against Dallas, stayed hot. That's 2 in a row now, and we're gonna stay. We're on the bye, so we're gonna keep it light, keep it tight. But 2 in a row, Vegas was an excellent matchup for us because I feel that game showed us a lot of maturation with this team. We had played the Vikings. We had them beat down for most of 50 minutes of that game, and then we blew it, which was pretty symbolic. Not symbolic, but it was the Bears. It was the Bears doing their normal, especially in the Eberflus era. But in this game, you saw the Bears actually fight back and not blow it. You saw a level of getting out of your getting the stink off of you, and getting to your better version of yourself. I say it all the time. And before you can get better, you got to unlearn the bad habits before you can learn the good habits. And this Bears team has a lot of bad habits they got to break before they can actually be taken seriously in this league as a good team before they even get to being a contending team. But the game itself, it wasn't a pretty game. It was an ugly game. The Bears had 6 drives in the first half. They can only score 9 points, all 3 field goals. They had flags all up the wazoo. And the Raiders, for their credit, they turned the ball over 3 times in the first half themselves. So it wasn't pretty whatsoever. Austin Johnson, he had been struggling at the start of his career. The Bears was a perfect get right for him. The Raiders had 240 yards on the ground because the Bears are agnostic to tackling a ball carrier. You say something?
I said, oh, wow. I didn't know he had that got down like that.
All right. Oh, yeah. No. He didn't have 240 himself. He had, I think, 100. I think Jonty had 160 rushing.
That's still
he scored 3 touchdowns. 2 of them, well, it was. He had 2 passing touchdowns that he scored, but 3 in total. But what we saw in the second half, the second half started with Ben Johnson and his fiery back and forth with the sideline reporter. I knew it right there. I knew 2 things were going to happen. One, the Bears are going to be laser focused because I know they just got chewed out in that locker room. And 2, we finna have a difference play in the second half versus what we saw in the first half. No more mistakes, no more than not being able to finish drives. And that's what.
This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan, real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.
He's at 2 touchdowns in the second half versus the 6 drives that ended in with 3 of them ended in first touchdown. This is his 4th touchdown in any games this season. Caleb Williams and showed a lot of moxie in that. Also, the biggest thing with what happened at halftime, Braxton Jones. Take a seat, sir. Take a seat. We're gonna put an undrafted guy from Canada out there. He could probably do better than you. Take a seat, sir.
Wow. That's very interesting. Well, before we talk about the Lions, I want to talk about the other team in the NFC North. You have some teams that win, some teams that lose, and then every now and then you'll get a draw. You'll get a tie. And that's what Green Bay did versus Dallas. They wound up in a 40-40 tie. And from the onset, it looked like Green Bay was about to have a field day. That first quarter, it looked like it was just Dallas was just going to roll over. And after getting beat down by the Bears, I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely about to, roll over against Green Bay. And it wound up being a dogfight, ending in a tie. Did you guys get a chance to see that game? I know, Dave. I know. What'd you see, Dave? I know you watched every second of that game.
Well, there's the hierarchy of teams I hate, right? And you got number 1 and number 2 playing each other. So all I was begging for was a stop by Dallas. Please stop them once. Now, the offensive firepower of Dallas, surprisingly, being able to score and keep up with Green Bay, but not only score and keep up, they went ahead. But then the defense let Green Bay back in. And in the 4 quarters, it was tied. And they go to overtime. And Dallas drives all the way down, gets to inside the 5, and has to settle for a field goal.
That sucked.
And then what happens? Green Bay marches all the way down and almost runs out the clock. If it weren't for, obviously, somebody from Green Bay paid off the Dallas clock operator, because that should have been time rolled off the clock, not stopping it with 0.1 second left in the game to allow Green Bay and their awesome kicker, or Dallas's awesome kicker, both of them have them, to come out there and hit the easy chip shot. And everybody felt like that was a waste. and they march off with a 40-40 tie. Now, it's probably going to screw up our standings in the NFC North.
Yes.
From here on out.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like, come on, man. A tie. Mm-hmm. Like, it's insane. Pay, did you get a chance to see the game?
Of course, I watched it. I watched it just like Dave did. Dave, guys, we need Pablo Torre to do something important with all his superpowers. Get off the Kawhi Leonard stuff with the Clippers. We don't need that. What we need is him to investigate that dairy cheese money that they're using to funnel to pay off refs. That's what we need. We need to find out. Big Dairy has got to stop fixing games for the Packers. I am sick of it. They are not that good. And you know what? Shame on us. Shame on us. 2 weeks ago, we got on here and said, you know what? The Packers are the best team in the league. Wrong. Wrong. If you tie with the Cowboys, that is an L. That's a fat L. Don't you tie with the Cowboys and still say, well, it's not a win. It's not a loss. Say it again.
You guys beat the Cowboys and you called it
breaks off
homeroom.
No. Yeah, it was definitely homeroom. I had my feet kicked. We had our feet kicked up at that game. We eating chips. We don't even know if there's a teacher in the room. That's how we treated the Dallas Cowboys. And the Packers go out there and give up 40. Yeah, 40.
40 without CD
Get
Lamb.
Get out of here with the Packers. Get out of my face. Green Bay, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys only had their best player. They had their best player, and they put 40 on you. Get out of my face with the Green Bay Packers. Get them out of here. Trash.
Foster, your take on the game.
Oh, the Packers game?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I mean, it was an exciting game. I mean, 80 points, that's a boatload of points, for it to end in a tie. It's only right that this is one of those things where he's like, oh, could they both lose? And that's the closest you can get to both losing is tying against each other. So,
well, I don't want both of them to lose. I just want the Packers to lose, sir.
Yeah. Packers above all. So I get that. But
yeah, I mean, I saw. Yeah, it was a very entertaining game. It was very. I mean, especially if you're watching the beginning and you're like, oh no, this is just going to be a blowout. And anytime you look at the score, if you don't watch the game at all and you see 40-40 tie, it was a lot of offense involved. And and if you're lucky, there's a crazy fourth quarter involved, and which it was. So it wasn't like it was a quiet fourth quarter and those guys were there stalemate after half. It was back and forth. So
kind of interesting.
No revenge game either.
What'd you say, Foster?
Well, I was going to bring up the whole Parsons, the homecoming for Parsons, and him. I'm sure he wanted to come in there and destroy his old team. So they say that time is like kissing your sister. So I'm sure that was kind of bittersweet too. That's a saying, I think.
I'm just saying, the hell with Parsons.
I don't have any sisters, so
the hell with Parsons. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. If you're watching, we'll be back in about 10 seconds. If you're listening, you're going to hear some wonderful ads. And we're back. Just want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. Make sure that you're checking us out. We're going to go around the room at the end of the show, and I'll have my co-hosts on here explain about their shows that they did in the beginning. So if you missed it, make sure you stay to the end, and you'll be able to check out what they have to say about their channels. Foster, the Lions had a game at 1:00 Sunday facing the Browns, a game that you and I thought was going to be a low-scoring affair with that Browns defense. And I'm going to say from the on, no matter the score, that Browns defense is a very good defense, Foster. So, tell me your take on that game there.
Yeah, so the final score ended up being 34-10, which, 4-score game. It doesn't really tell the whole story. Like you said, they have a very, very tough defense. And the Lions just continue to find ways to win that are not always 100% conventional. Jared Goff didn't have a great game, in the game, but the offensive line was able to hold down that front four and Myles Garrett and company. So another 0-sack game for them. The Lions had a punt return for a touchdown. They had a couple opportune interceptions as well. Kirby, Joseph, and DJ Reed had interceptions. And they early on, Quinshon Judkins had it going. The Lions in regular fashion gave up a touchdown on the first series. We have yet to hold a team without a touchdown on the first series, so that's something that definitely need to work on. And I know Kelvin Shepherd, who talked about it last week, is going to reiterate that again, that we need to shut them down early, that first drive. But obviously they only managed another field goal the whole rest of the game. The Lions slowly but surely got ahead. The Browns had to abandon the run, and it put Joe Flacco in a position where he had to make things happen, and he made some ill-advised passes. One being the one to Kirby Joseph that he just kind of lobbed up to the sideline, and Kirby Joseph was able to get 2 feet in bounds, and that was a big turnover. And then later on in the game, DJ Reed was able to do the same on a play that I feel like the receiver kind of fell, and DJ would kind of dove, got up. That was kind of a big play too, where they had to review it to see if he got touched down, because I think he advanced another like 30 yards after that. But yeah, the offense wasn't. Montgomery, who was coming off a great game against the Ravens, was pretty much obsolete. Gibbs was more of the lead back. I think he ended up with like 90 yards rushing, but it wasn't a whole lot of big, gouging plays. The Browns defense is legit. So yeah, the 34 points doesn't tell, exactly how it went down. Obviously, with us having shorter field position with the turnovers. But it was nice. It was nice to see that punt return from Khalif Raymond. It's been good to see him back healthy. He missed a lot of playing time last year. The one thing the couple things to make a note of is there was some injury scares on the defensive side of things. Kirby Joseph was out for a little bit going into halftime, but he came back and finished the game, I believe. Hutch went down. He kind of got chipped by the running back while he was engaged with up top, not down low, but up top. And I think he knocked the wind out of him or something happened. But yeah, so he went down, and that was kind of scary. And then eventually DJ Reed would go out with a hamstring injury, which did not look good because he was carted off. He was not, and he looked visibly in some pain. We found out later on that he will be on the IR and miss. He had an IR and miss at least 4 games with a hamstring injury, but luckily it wasn't a serious knee injury. And then Terrion Arnold as well went out with a shoulder.
I thought it was something like that, or forearms, something like that.
Pectoral tendon.
Okay. Dan Campbell said that the only thing that's in question is whether or not he'll be ready for this week, but he doesn't foresee it being a long-term thing. So we're going to be a little shorthanded in the secondary, and we got some other guys that got to step in and make things happen in their absence.
Well, you got a week scheduled coming up that should help with that.
Yeah, certainly this week coming up. I don't know who
it's the Bengals. We have the Bengals next, and I don't know who's after that. But I think it gets pretty tough, I believe, because I think there's Kansas City somewhere in there, and there's
not too many breaks. That's for sure.
Not too many breaks coming up. So I think, in Cincinnati, I don't without 2 starting corners. I wouldn't actually exactly say the Cincinnati's a gimme. You just they have 2 very good wideouts. I don't know, Dave. I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
Like Vikings handle them
4 points, and they haven't been able to do that with Burrow out.
Oh, we'll see.
Did you all see what Bo Nix did to them?
I did. It was rough. Patrick Surtain did to him.
I'm just very cautious.
The talk in Cincinnati is, should they trade for Jameis Winston? That's where they're at right now.
That's crazy.
I ain't saying
it's not too crazy now. He is a very formidable backup / if you need him in a pinch type guy. But
that means
he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT of random wins. I would give Jameis that. He's the GOAT of he's the GOAT of winning games that he ain't got no business winning. He's also the GOAT at giving you the ball. So if they don't go in that direction, season's over.
And pregame speeches.
I'm not telling you to get overconfident. I'm just saying.
Man.
Oh, he's the GOAT of that too. He's a triple GOAT.
Triple threat. I know it's only game 4, but I'm gonna go around the room and I have a question. I should have asked you guys backstage so you had some time to think. I hate to put you guys on the spot, but Dave, did you learn after game 4? Did you learn anything new about your team?
Yeah, we can't survive the injuries. It feels a lot like 2016 when This week, we expect to start 2/5 of our starting offensive line, if that. It's going to be rough. And what we did learn is that Carson Wentz is not the answer. And as soon as J.J. McCarthy is healthy from his high ankle sprain, he will be playing.
Okay. Hey, what'd you learn about the Chicago Bears this week?
I learned that Ben Johnson is going to wear his welcome thin at some point in the next 4 seasons. So in the next 4 seasons, the Bears got to win a Super Bowl because somebody's going to get tired of Ben Johnson's shit.
What do you mean?
That he be on people's face.
Why do you say that?
Well, it was that back and forth that's been back and forth between him and a sideline reporter that's gone a little viral. It was how he addressed the Braxton Jones benching after the game when he was dealing with the media, and just how he isn't coy with calling his team out in the media. At some point, even these guys all asked for it, right? I'm not I'm not playing sad music for these guys. These guys said they wanted to be coached. They wanted to be coached hard. They wanted a drill sergeant. In fact, that's what they needed after John Fox, player coach, Matt Nagy, player coach, Eberflus, player coach, Trestman, we don't even know who he is, and Lovie Smith, player coach. The Bears were in need of a tactician. Bears were in need of a drill sergeant, and that's what he is. But you already know there's a shelf life on drill sergeant. So get that Super Bowl in soon, Ben, because somebody go give you the scholar treatment. Keep going the way you're going.
At some point, it's talk to my agent. I'm not dealing with this. Foster, what did you learn about your Detroit Lions this week? If anything.
Well, I learned. I mean, I don't know if it's something that I learned, but they're proving that they don't take weeks off. They don't start spelling themselves too soon and feeling high on themselves after. Because, I mean, that Baltimore win was a pretty big win for us because we haven't won there since 2008 or something.
2005.
2005. Oh, my God. Don't ask me what I was doing in 2005. But yeah, so I'm proving, I'm learning that the team, does not sleep on opponents that are quote unquote beneath them, and that they can get the job done even when they don't score 45 points. The last 2 weeks we averaged we scored 90 points combined. We still scored 34, but only 3 of them were offensive touchdowns. We only had 3 offensive touchdowns. We had a couple field goals and a punt return as well. So yeah, we're strong in all facets of the game. And what we're also learning week by week that points that the areas that we thought were going to be shortcomings are becoming more strengths. We're second in the league. We're first in, I think, the pass rush win rate. In sack percentage. So sacks per play or whatever. And then we're second in total sacks, just behind the Broncos, I believe.
Who cares?
Who
cares who's the first team? I'm gonna tell you what I learned, and if you pay attention, I learned that Khalif Raymond is very high on Coach Campbell's list. If you look at the starting 3, me personally, I'm thinking Tesla was going to be your third starting receiver. Tim Patrick was basically traded away right before the season started, and I thought it was a testament to Tesla, and I just knew he would get a lot more playing time, but there's a guy named Khalif Raymond who has kept him off the field, and I was wondering how and why, and then you see him do stuff like he does in the game, gets key catches in traffic, and then he's your punt return specialist, and you've seen what he did there. Last couple of years, he's been a very reliable punt returner. So he's very valuable. And I just, I underappreciated him last year, but I see why Tesla's not on the field as much. But they're still hollering for Tesla here in Detroit. A lot of media outlets are asking, is he underused? And I think he's not being underused. I think Khalif Raymond is earning his pay. No pun intended, pay. He's earning it and getting that nod at the starting the third wide receiver position. So that about do it for that.
I got a question for you guys. Looking at your box score from last week, who started opposite of Hutch?
Oh, Tim Connor.
Tim Connor. It wasn't Muhammad did not play, and that's who we were expecting to play. But
because Muhammad had a bang up week the week before,
he was injured. He was dressed and ready and for an emergency, but he did not suit up. I mean,
he almost got on the field and they pulled him back. It was kind of odd.
Yeah, he could have played, but he did not play a snap. And he had going into the game, 2.5 sacks?
Sacks from last week. Yeah.
So, and he was one of those names that was all week. The media here was going crazy about him. That's the answer for the other side. And no, he did not play. He was dressed and ready, and he was about to go in, but they pulled him, and it is what it is. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rest him another week if he's a little banged up, but it is what it is. Now, going into week 5, I think let's start with Pay. Pay, y'all have a bye week?
Netflix has a new monstrous story to tell. In 1950s Wisconsin, Ed Gein lived quietly on a decaying farm, hiding a house of horrors so gruesome it would redefine the American nightmare. Driven by isolation, psychosis, and an all-consuming obsession with his mother, he committed crimes that would haunt Hollywood for decades. The third and most harrowing installment of Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan's anthology series. Watch Monster, the Ed Gein story, streaming now only on Netflix.
That's correct. We are at our pseudo halfway point of the season. Bye week Bears.
Well, let's talk about who do you have after your bye week?
The DC Commanders.
For some odd reason, I can't stand them. And you guys owe them.
Not alone.
Yeah, I hope y'all got that game circled. Y'all owe them.
Oh, it's the beginning of the season. That was why getting back to 2-2 was so big, because now the record is reset, because this game is a big one. Everything comes down. I'm not say everything, but it's one of those nut check games. You gotta go into that game and mean business for all the reasons you all know and for all the reasons you don't know. Everybody's got to come in with a sense of purpose, mainly Tyreek Stevenson, and the defense. Well, not necessarily the defense, but Ben Johnson, Tremaine Edmonds, Caleb Williams. Everybody's got to say, you know what? I'm finna put on for my hood in this game.
I hear you. I remember that loss from
Roshan Johnson too, because he got beat up in that game.
Yeah.
It's going to be in prime time on Monday night on ABC.
Got to be tuned in for that.
And
Dave,
I so much do not need the Bears to lose that game, because I've already got half my rant written up. I've got a take. I've been waiting on it. Do not make me have to rewrite that. I'm gonna be so
you go polish it over to bye week this weekend.
Hey man, you want to rewrite a rant? You don't want to rant. No sense of ranting if you don't have to.
Oh no.
I agree with Pay. Be prepared.
No. Rants are fun. Rants are fun. They can be positive rants.
Yeah, it could be positive. Dave, Who's next for the Vikings? And is JJ available next week?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most likely not. I don't expect him to. They were going to give him some playing time this week, put him on the practice squad to see if he could, how the leg was looking, but we'll find out. He's still listed as the high ankle sprain, so we'll see. The Minnesota Vikings are already over there. The game's in London, Tottenham Spur Stadium, and they left Ireland just right after the Steelers game and flew to London. They've been based there all week. So they're all adjusted. They're fine. They're used to the time change and everything else. Nothing's, special about that. But they've been flying in extra linemen because we were down to, if we lost one more lineman, we were converting a tight end to play tackle or guard or center or something like that last week. So we're flying in a couple different linemen. We'll see. We picked up a tackle from, I want to say Carolina. Carolina's practice squad. He played for University of North Dakota, and then plus we activated a kid named Huber as a guard. But we're going to play them Sunday morning for everybody here in the States. London game. We're going to play the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. Now, what is big news that's come out of Cleveland today is that Joe Flacco got benched.
Yes.
And we're going to be facing rookie Dylan Gabriel. They've readdressed the depth chart. It now goes Gabriel, Flacco, Shedeur.
Oh, wow.
And so Shedeur got interviewed in the locker room, and all he had to answer, but he had no vocals coming out of his mouth. And they put on a show quite a bit. And I'm sure that's going to go over really, really well with Kevin Stefanski in the NFL. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But we're going to go against a rookie. That means Brian Flores is got the napkin going.
Yeah.
He's drooling because he can't wait. But this is going to be a battle of two good defenses.
Yeah.
I don't see much on the offensive side going well unless Kevin O'Connell changes the game plan immensely to help facilitate Carson Wentz getting the ball out, because Carson Wentz is, I think, the worst under pressure or second to worst under pressure quarterback. He's up there on all the stats except for two. When he's under pressure and time to sack, and not time to sack. Yeah, maybe time to sack. He holds the ball on too long when he's under pressure and gets sacked. So it's going to be interesting. We're favored by, I think, 3.5 right now over the Browns. But I don't expect it to be a high-scoring game, and neither does Vegas. They have it as a 36.5 point over-under.
Yeah. You're muted, Foster. That's a fine.
No, I wanted to know what was up with the rush defense this past week. That Gainwell, the Steelers' backup running back, just seemed to be just running straight through that
That's
line.
a good question, Foster.
I'll answer your question. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave that we acquired in the offseason, and we got rid of Harrison Phillips. He went and we sent him to the Patriots. We did a calculated risk that we needed more pass rush from the interior than we needed run stopping. Well, Hargrave and Allen are getting pushed back. And I mean 2-3 yards back. It's not pretty. And all sorts of running backs are just eating their lunch. Plus, when we go against teams that play larger numbers, 12 formation, 13 formation, bringing up the extra linemen or the extra tight ends to create extra gaps, those are normally filled by linebackers or bigger, heavier guys on the defensive line. We don't have that because we're designed to go against the fast wide receivers, and we have the lighter linebackers, which Cashman's been out. Pace has been horrible since Phillips is gone, and it's just not working against the rush. So when we eventually get to you guys, June and Foster, we're going to get creamed unless something absolutely gets a whole lot healthier a whole lot sooner, because you're going to run Montgomery and Gibbs right up the middle. It's the way to defeat us.
Well, that sounds good to me. Foster, you're lying.
Did Pay have something to say?
No, it's on you, brother.
Okay.
Don't shy away from the spotlight, man. You're used to it, man. You're rich. You're used to it. You have your own show. I mean, no need to be shy now. Your Lions have a game at Cincinnati, man. And how are you looking at that game?
Well, this is our third AFC North opponent in a row. Hopefully we can get up out of there at 3-0. The Bengals are a team heading in a totally different direction than us. They're still 2-2, so they're still at 500, but they have not won a game since Joe Burrow has been out, and they're coming off a game against Denver where they only managed 3 points. Jamar Chase was shut down. Jamar Chase and Higgins were held to, I think, like 55 yards receiving between the two of them. And yeah, they don't have much to hang their hat on. I mean, I don't expect for Chase and Higgins to have a game of that caliber, but the offensive lineman has done them no justice. They haven't done a good job of protecting for Jake Browning. I mean, there's already skill deficiencies between him and Joe Burrow, but at the very least, you would hope that you can get some protection. And on the other side of the ball, it probably gets even scarier. They are anchored by Trey Hendrickson, but they don't have there's not much outside of him really. They do have a pretty impressive linebacker. His last name is Knight. Demetrius Knight. Who had a pretty good interception against Denver. But Shamar Stewart has been out, the guy that was supposed to kind of help complement Trey Hendrickson. So he's going to be out. I think he's already been ruled out for Game 4 as well. So the Lions offense should be able to continue the trend that they're on. They haven't given up a sack since that Green Bay Packers game, and they should be able to, kind of have their way running the ball, passing the ball. I expect to see more of Isaac Tesla. As far as he's concerned, I think we're going to get an opportunity to see him. He's still a rookie. He had he's had some impressive, flashes early on in the season, and he had an impressive preseason, but I think that there's no need with plenty of, there's a lot of balls that got to go around to Jahmyr Gibbs, Brown, and Jamison Williams, who was kind of quiet in that the Bears game. So there's plenty of opportunities to go around to where we'll pick our spots with Tesla. Laporta still doesn't have a receiving touchdown. He's got a lot of targets, but he has not met pay dirt yet. So I think you're going to see an opportunity. This is going to be our homeroom or recess or lunch period where you're going to see us. You're going to see us experiment and try a few things out because Cincinnati doesn't have much going for them.
And last and certainly least, the Packers. I don't know if they have a bye week or not, but I guess we have to.
They're on their bye.
I almost tempted to say FTP and not just discuss them, but after their bye, who are they playing?
That's the one thing I don't have a schedule up.
Yeah, I'm very interested in who their next game is. get a week to give
Foster,
Parsons.
you said Tesla hasn't scored yet. Didn't he score in week 1?
Oh, no, I said Laporta hasn't scored yet.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
Week 6.
Yeah, Laporta. Yeah, the Tesla had a touchdown in the first game. I may have, if I said that, I misspoke, but Laporta has not.
They play your leftovers from this week, June and Foster.
They play the Bengals.
The Bengals.
Okay. Okay. All right. I don't even want to talk about the Packers, man. They disgust me.
In week 6.
Yeah, they discussed me with a tie. So, I guess we can conclude the show. I think we've talked about everything and covered everything. We got 2 bye weeks, and then kind of I don't want to spoil next week's show. Who's hosting next week? Yeah, so I don't want to spoil next week's show. We're talking about.
I'll be on the bye.
I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about who we have coming up after for week 6. So. Let's just conclude here. We'll go around the room and you can tell our audience when's your next show, where they can catch your show, and everything else. We'll start with you, Pay.
So the next show will be directly after this one. We're going to recap this Cubs Padres game 2. We are in the bottom of the 9th right now, so expect that almost immediately after the conclusion of this show. As always, we are embarrassing ourselves, wetting the bed against the San Diego Padres. Ron Burgundy and the rest of the Channel 4 news team is having a party at our expense right now. But yeah, we're going, unless we have some magic in the bottom of the 9th, we are in a similar situation as those Detroit Tigers. Do or die, winner take all, game 3. But that's coming next on the channel, and as always, we can always catch the all your Bears information, and we already started our Bulls coverage. The Shot City Bulletin Board is back. Those episodes are dropping every Monday. You can always a good time, catch those. And any written work from the channel, you can find that at profootballers.com. But as I said at the beginning of the show, Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel on YouTube and anywhere you get your audio media fix, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, and any other aggregators. We are there. Check us out.
All right, Dave.
You catch us up, Vikings First and Skull, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Our next show will be the Real Forno Show tomorrow night. Normally, we will have in between this X's and Skulls with Luke Braun as they break down the film from last week. But we are not, because Luke Braun went over for the game in Ireland and is already sitting in England as a credentialed press member to watch the game there. So, like I said, the next one is the Real Forno Thursday night, and then you'll have 2 old bloggers, me and Darren Campbell, break down the pregame of what to expect against the Brownies on Sunday.
Wow. You got a buddy that's already over there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's dope. Foster, take us out.
You can catch, obviously you're here right now, so you know where to catch us for the Lions coverage, but you will also likely get a show recapping the Tigers game tonight. I got to get Coach on the horn, and if he hasn't already crashed out at the as Pay said, we embarrassed ourselves today as well. Hard fought game, but we fell apart late. So we in a do or die situation tomorrow. And Pistons, as far as the Pistons are concerned, we had our media day, I think, yesterday. So
yes,
we'll be getting back in the swing of post-game podcast stuff very, very soon.
Yeah, we'll be revving up NBA basketball soon, and you'll be able to catch the joint show on Monday nights with the Central Division. Pay, you'll be at least quarterbacking the show. He's a super producer when he's not on the show. So I'm looking very forward to starting that back up. So that'll conclude our show for today. Make sure you subscribe to everybody that's on the panel here. We have good media. If you are a Lions fan, do not ignore the fact that these two gentlemen at the bottom of the screen have good media content. They are good people. They have good shows. They're very consistent and they're fair. So please check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube channels. If you just check them out, man. They're good people. Even though they are Bears and Vikings, they are very good people with very good content. So I'm going to leave you with this. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube.
Get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get